Today I had the distinct pleasure of being with Effective Living, doing exercises with Miss Sonia. Today we had a fun day out here at River Legacy Park. The Effective Living community came together. We had a very effective day with Effective Living today. We had a scavenger hunt, a nice walk around the park, as well as a great workout with Miss Sonia. We were dancing, we were doing burpees, but it was all in fun.
We have also had an opportunity to meet new people, and it has been a great day. Not a part of the Effective Living community, we want to encourage you to do that because it is a place that we can continue to have fun.
Involved a lot of dance moves as well as just basic workout moves, so it brought everybody together for all ages, and I think it was a great, fantastic workout. So next time we have something, we want to see you there. The more the merrier, and join us in this journey to create a life you don't need to take a vacation from. Our next Effective Living event will be July 17th. Mark your calendar, it's Saturday, July 17th.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, July 17th. Yep, that's this Saturday, y'all. This Saturday, if you're anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you have to come and check us out. It's going to be a great day. Now, this morning, we're continuing our celebration of 2 years Effective Living Life Management Agency in existence, and I got the one and only Esther Moreno joining me this morning. How are you doing, Esther?
Oh, my goodness. I am so good. It is so fun getting ready for a meeting at the same time as my husband.
Well, listen.
Toothpaste everywhere.
Well, tell Guy, listen, we're so glad that he did not have to do a Zoom or some webinar meeting at this particular time. But man, listen, I am so grateful for you. We got Karen Marshall checking us out this morning. Karen, thank you for watching. If you're watching on Facebook, please share. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Esther, you have been one busy lady this year. I mean, you've been on the move. Tell our viewing audience a little bit before we dive into our talk, a little bit about Esther Moreno.
Absolutely. So about 3 to 4 years ago now, I founded an organization called Child's Heart LLC, which is all dedicated towards training leaders, children's ministry leaders in particular, really on going forth with the spirit of excellence when it comes to reaching the next generation. You know, as I work more and more with children and as I study the next generation, they go through a lot of heavy things. So they need leaders who are relevant. They need leaders who are trained to do that. So that's kind of what I do. I'm also a mom of 2 amazing kids who who call you Uncle Ricardo.
Yeah. I
have a girl and a boy. I am a wife. I am a ordained minister. I am everything else in between. And I am constantly, as you have said, on the go.
And you've been managing very well all that you have moving in your life. I want you to tell our viewing audience about your faith journey, because a lot of people don't know you're a PK as well. Tell us about that, because people think, okay, Esther's all this is this beautiful lady who has this great husband and these beautiful kids, and
I'm
you're
very
always
good
on
on
the move.
social media. What can I say? I have my standards in posting.
I know, right? but in addition, though, you have a journey. I mean, you're a seminary graduate. So talk to us about the initial growing up as Esther Moreno that some people just don't know.
Absolutely. So I grew up in the church,
Yeah.
Ricardo. I lived at church. I am a PK. Oh, I hated church. Church was so boring. And I
Oh,
can remember. So I have an identical twin sister. I remember us, we had these hard wooden, like, benches that we had to sit on.
pews.
Yeah, pews. Yeah. And we would fight, okay, so the old school pew, right? And that it would have the ends on. We would fight to be on the end. We would do rock, paper, scissors, shoot. So that because whoever got the end got to sleep during church. And kind of cock their head to the side. But yeah, I just remember we were always in church all the time. Another unique thing about my faith journey and being a PK is my dad's ministry. He's a retired Presbyterian minister, but his ministry was to broken churches. So basically, they would send him to repair a church that was like riddled with like drama and chaos, and he would bring it back to health, and then we would have to leave and go to another like completely crazy, chaotic church. So it was just a lot. I think on us as children, we carried a lot of the stress that he carried, that, we think that we're keeping things from our children, which is why I love children's ministry, because I get to teach this. We think that they don't know. We think that they don't see, but they do. And we saw that, and we would, we would see so many things. We've seen choirs because of strife get up, right before it was time for my dad to preach, and the whole choir would walk out because the choir instructor is upset with my daddy. We've gone out on Sundays and our windows are busted because the church secretary has a mental health issue and she's upset with my dad. We've seen people turn. So we really got to see the good, bad, ugly, uglier, and ugliest, if that is a word, in ministry. And you would think that completely tainted my faith. Oh my goodness, all of these hypocrites. But over time, I got to see, it really gave me a clear perspective that the church is not perfect. The church is broken because it's filled with broken people. And God has called for us to lead these broken people and to point them to him. So my dad served as an incredible example of that. Always, even in the midst of all of that drama, I would tell my mom all the time, I should be a crackhead right now. Like, she would be like, stop saying that. I'm like, it was just so much drama. But even in the midst of that, there was this constant pull from God that I couldn't pull away. It was this love for his word. I wanted to know at an early age about his word. I wanted to know him more. I wanted to do everything that I could from in every stage. It was funny how he would follow me in every stage and tug at my heart. I got older, went to college, tugging on my heart to find a campus ministry so that I can stay close to him. Getting older, tugging on my heart to go to seminary, which my mom cried over. Oh my goodness, church is horrible. Don't go into the ministry because of our experience. But God was constantly pulling and tugging on my heart because he had a special plan for my life, which is still in the making.
And you're from Chicago, in addition. So not only did you moved around from broken churches, from one broken church to another broken church, but you're from Chicago. East side, west side, south
side? I feel like, it still doesn't sound right coming out of me. But I am from the south side of Chicago. Every summer, we were in the south side. No matter where we went, no matter where we moved, Chicago is home.
Chicago is home. And both you and Guy are from Chicago.
Well, Guy is actually from Cincinnati. Okay. So he was very lucky to meet me in Ohio during that stint. He was very blessed for me to kind of come in.
Yeah.
But we had actually, I've had my stint. It's funny how our worlds just collided because I had my stint in Ohio for a while. And I always say, man, if I knew you earlier, we would not be married. He's like, ditto.
Yeah. So Esther, I mean, working in ministry now, having grown up in ministry, having the seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of ministry, I want to talk a lot about the whole concept of being unstoppable, because there are sometimes you could feel, boy, you know what? If this is what it's about, I can't do this. I choose not to do this. There can be no God in this. You mentioned somewhat what kept you. Let's dive into that a little bit, because what were some of the principles that you really did have to lean on, because you saw so much and you've had to decide not to allow what you saw to contaminate what you ultimately believe?
Yeah, I would say amazing, incredible people around me has helped to keep me. I think that we see leaders and we assume that they are these amazing, like they have like these superpowers, and I can never do that, because that's just not me. When really you really are the subtotal of the people who are around you. I'm always a firm believer that I'm like, oh my goodness, I had to have had a praying grandmother in the midst of that, praying for me. My grandmother was a huge woman of faith who reminded me of the significance and the importance of prayer. And not only we should just pray because it's a good thing to do as Christians, but that we serve a God who's alive, who is active, who listens to prayer. So I'm so confident to this day that I am experiencing what I am experiencing because of her investment in her relationship with God and covering us in prayer. My dad was so busy in the ministry, but there were times I would catch a glimpse of him just looking out the window. I never really knew what was going on in his head, but I knew there were moments that I knew that he was praying and he was talking to God. And now that I'm a parent, I'm sure some of those prayers were, oh, please don't let me jack this up. Please help these kids. Because these people are crazy and I don't know what to do. Because we got hit a lot with, that unhealthy culture that we were constantly thrown into in ministry. I knew he was really worried about that. So he was always praying. But also I was very intentional in my choice for a husband. I was very intentional. I had a list of what I was looking for that I was very honest with God with. I know people say, you need to just be led of the Lord and let him do it. And I was very strict. I said, I want them to love God more than anything. I want them to be ambitious. I want them to have goals. And it was so funny. And that's when I met Guy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my list. But it was so funny because in college, so Guy is, he's not a big man. He's of smaller stature. Well, he was even smaller in college, very thin and lanky. And I remember I had this friend who she would date all these dudes who had all these muscles. And she was like, she said, you want to date Guy? And I'm like, he is amazing. Okay. Have you seen my list? Okay. He fits all of these, but we were so compatible as well because of that, because of our relationship with God and his love for Jesus always pushed me. He is the king of devil's advocate, which drives me insane. But I think a lot of times we want people who are just like us, who agree with us. I think those are the worst people. I think opposites attract. And he would constantly push me in my faith journey. When I was upset, I just wanted to wallow in fear or depression. He would come in and be like, but Esther, the word says, and I'm shut up. I don't care what the word says. But I would think about it later. And that's kind of, it leaps and bounds. It helped me in my relationship with the Lord. Having the right people around, being intentional. I think it's okay to be intentional with the people that you allow in your space, that you allow in your life, because those are the people who are going to be in your headspace. So you need to make sure that those are healthy people, not perfect, but healthy people.
I like that. Healthy people. I love it. I love you and Guy's story. You both are amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined with Esther Moreno this morning. We're celebrating 2 years of effective living. We're talking about being unstoppable. Now, here's the deal. You're going to have to do this, guys. If you have gotten a copy of my book, Effective Living, you are missing out. Get a copy of it. This is how you can do that. I'll be right back after this. Now, do yourself a favor. Go to the website, order the book. I promise you, it will bless you. Now, Esther, you read the book, Effective Living. As a matter of fact, you were a part of the launch celebration of the book, Effective Living. I mean, overall, your view of the platform, you have known me now for years in that of initially being the children's ministry guy and now this Effective Living ambassador. I mean, what's your view on that whole thing?
Oh my goodness. You know that I am hashtag effective living all the way. I have pushed my husband into it, and now he is hashtag effective living. But no, I just loved it. And I do have the book, and I love the book so much because in the book, I feel like we really get to hear more of your story, you know. And I mean, as I was saying, I would see you as just this dynamic leader. Anyone who works with you knows that you are like a master strategist. And I'm like, man, that's so cool. That's so awesome. I can't do any of that. And we forget of the obstacles that you've had to face, that you've had to get past in order to get to where you are, in order to be as strong of a voice as you are. Everybody goes through something. So just seeing you open up about that, I think really it inspired so many people. It inspired me to push past the obstacles that I face on a day-to-day basis. So I love it. I love the entire effective living theme of living a life where you don't feel like you have to take a vacation. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. You don't understand. I need a break. Why? Well, if you live your life effectively, I really believe effective living is about waking up with joy, regardless of what you have to do. Just finding that piece of life and embracing it and learning how to do things the right way. God has called for us. He hasn't called for us to be depressed, stressed out, burn out all the time. But if we don't learn, there are rules in life. If we don't follow those rules, we will find ourselves in that place. So I love how effective living pushes that message.
Esther, thank you so much. There are people who, unfortunately, as you mentioned just now, who find themselves dreading getting up in the morning. And you've seen children's ministry leaders, they do love kids. They do feel called of God. But actually they built they have not built themselves. And how do you know you've not built right? How's life working for you? If you're sitting in the parking lot dreading going into that church building, you're doing something wrong. if when you walk in that church's office and you look at the people around you and you don't like any of them, you're doing something wrong. You know, if you're really wanting to hit a kid when they come to the front of the children's church to complain about an issue, and you go to bed thinking you miss your opportunity for that kid, you're doing something wrong. And it is possible to still have figured out your calling, but not build yourself correctly in establishing your calling. Now, you know, as I've been watching you, I mean, you're going and blowing, Guy is blowing and going, and y'all are glowing in the midst of your blowing and going. I mean, it's just like, we're going after it. Yeah. There are people who don't like where they are, but they're still there. They're still stuck. And the concept of effective living is, I want to help people get out of that rut. Over the years, what have you seen to be some of the reasons why someone would go to a job that they still find themselves in? Every time they pull up in the parking lot, they got to take a big breath.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, what have you seen? Because you've been around, you've worked, and you've worked
around crazy people. No, it is. So you mentioned that, And I can remember a time where I wasn't living effectively. I didn't have the skills. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was just existing and I was stumbling through life. And let me tell you, when you're in that place, it's so hard to find the purpose that God has called for you. He's created all of us with purpose. But I can remember not really living life effectively and sitting in a parking lot. I'm like, is Ricardo in my business right now? But I remember sitting in a parking lot and I'm in tears. I hate this job. I hate these people. I mean, this is what was going on in my head at the time. And I remember crying so hard that I said, "Oh my goodness, this is my moment. Now I sound like I have a cold. Let me call and tell them that I'm sick, and it will be completely believable." So I call, "I'm really sick." I mean, 'cause my nose is just running from tears. And they're like, "Oh, Esther, stay home." And I hang up the phone and I'm like, sick of this job. I mean, it was just crazy. But I realized in that moment, it was my source. I was plugged into the wrong source. And I hear preachers, they preach about this, all the time, but it's really not just a cliche, analogy. It really is what you're plugged into. And I was so plugged into all of the negative things. My mindset was so messed up. I wasn't plugged into God. I wasn't plugged into his spirit. I wasn't plugged into prayer and into the word and into this general positivity. I would see every obstacle and I would just let it take me down lower and lower. I would let it feed into insecurities. I would allow it to build bitter roots of bitterness and hate in me for those around me. And in a situation like that, everybody loses. And it wasn't until I plugged into the right source, I got the right type of people and the right type of friends around me who supported that positive mindset, that I was able to literally move forward and get out of that and see things differently. Really.
Yeah. Wow. You said something while you were sharing that early on. You talk about, you wrote down what you wanted. And you were talking about that about your husband, but you write down what you want for your kids. I mean, I knew when you guys went to Alabama, you didn't want any school district. You didn't want to live in just any community. You didn't want to just go to any church. I mean, writing down what you want, how important is that? I mean, there are people who they want more, but they've not taken the time to define what more is. They haven't taken the time to identify in writing. It's important that writing is a part of the process. There are a lot of people who say journal at the core of what it is that you said you want. You wrote out what you wanted. You've been writing out what you want.
Yeah.
How important is it to take some time out to literally, really know what you want?
I mean, I think the word makes it clear, Ricardo. Write down the vision, make it plain. We need to make sure that we're writing these things down because we're humans. Yeah. And I mean, we will forget. It's so important to write the things down that we want to write it down in a place that we can see. We have chalk markers as well. And we have white chalk markers, and we will write in the on the mirrors in our house. Maybe it's a season that we're going through, that we're struggling in, and we need to make sure, we need to constantly be reminded of where we are, of the God that we trust and how faithful he is. We will go in and we will write in the chalk marker to remind us. We write our goals. And I think that it has kept us so much in doing that. Even if we're going through a season where we're really struggling with, there's a lot of negativity around, we write down things that God is doing actively in our lives, even in the midst of the tears. That has been such a blessing. We have this gratitude jar that, if we see even in the midst of an obstacle, man, look what God did today. Man, we really needed this and God showed up. So we won't forget. We write it down and we put it in that jar. And when we are struggling, we'll get that jar out and we'll read the things. But I think it's okay. Listen, God has put desires in each and every one of us, and it's unique to our story. So I think it's okay for us to want things. I think it's okay for us to have audacious goals, to want big things, and to be okay with people not understanding those things. I have had so many people, well-intentioned people in my life. Sometimes we just need to shut up when it comes. You have to be careful who you tell your story to, or who you get excited. Oh, I really want this, and you write it down. You tell somebody, and it could be a family member, it could be a close friend, and they will squash that because their story is different. You've said it before. The grace on their life and on your life is different. So writing it down helps and seeing it constantly helps to see and keep you in line with that.
I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're joined with Esther Moreno. We're talking about being unstoppable in Christ. Effective Living is celebrating 2 years, y'all, 2-year anniversary. And as today, Esther, I remember when this whole thing started to frame itself out. I initially, guys, we were doing as the children's ministry guy. And that's what I was doing. I was Ricardo Miller, and it was children's ministry with Ricardo Miller. And then there was a shift. And so lately we celebrated 7 years on the radio, and then we moved on to shifting the platform to effective living. The journey has been amazing. So 7 years on the radio, 2 years as effective living. Guys, check this out. We'll be right back. And here's the deal. When you start watching that journey, you start realizing we did not initially start with it all coming together, We start with small baby steps.
It's been 2 years. I feel like it's been 10.
Well, that's because, one, the pandemic made a year feel like 5. Okay? but in all honesty, the term despise not the day of small beginnings is something to really look at. Check this one out.
We're Mondays in and out, we're showing up, we're providing great content to help people take their life to a whole new level.
Here on Fishbowl Radio Network, I learned a quote a couple of years ago, guys, and it really helped me to form this whole platform and the service we provide to effective living. And it says, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. Most people don't understand it's about the response.
Sami G joining us for 7 years. We've been on the platform doing our thing.
And we're celebrating 7 years. 7 years.
7 years! Good job! Good job! Good job!
There's room for improvement. What do y'all think about it? Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun.
Come on.
I'm talking about to have all of them on lock. I'm telling you, I'm in pursuit of it.
Yes.
I'm in pursuit of it. Creating a life you don't need a vacation from is possible. Join us every Monday right here on Effective Living. Connect with us with our various services on our website, ricardomiller.com. Love and appreciate you. 7 years going strong. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Hi, it's Ricardo Miller of Effective Living here on Fishbowl Radio Network, where we're helping you to create a life you don't need to take a vacation from. Every Monday nights at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
You have been a part of that journey, Esther. How you feel about that?
It's been great. No, I'm watching this video and it's so fun. I love Brady because she is just like bursting with energy. But it has been such an incredible journey. It's so funny to see where you've come from, and to constantly see. And I think this is what effective living is all about, constantly growing, not just getting there all in one day, but growing and learning and taking necessary lessons so that you can get better and keep getting better and keep getting better and keep getting better. And I think of effective living. I think of this, there was a speaker that I heard, I don't know who it was, but they had mentioned, if you can't look back, you should be able to look back 5 years, from now, and you'd be a little embarrassed because you're growing so much. Like, I did that.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
But if you're constantly just satisfied, then you need to kind of reconsider what you're doing. But I love it. It's just been such an honor to be a part of that journey.
Listen, we have established the 5 Foundation. I love the 5. We had so many people joining us. Angela Marks, thank you very much for the shout out. Yes, Adela Major. Adela said, listen, West Side, the best side.
Okay.
So effective living has built itself around 5 foundational principles. These 5 words really is what we focus on to try to help people to take control of faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Now, you've been watching this whole thing play itself out. I'm not talking this thing, I'm living this thing. And then every day I'm learning how to bring this message alive: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. You and Guy, you guys are pushing this whole lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not an idea that's in the head only. Adela also wrote there, effective living is intentional living. Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. What's your view on the foundational F's that we have for the organization?
Oh my goodness. I think it's so important. I think it's so easy to pick one of those areas and try to excel in, but it's important that we take all of those areas. And I love how you said, I mean, really, Guy and I, we really do all of those things. We are intentional in all of those are the things that keep us, making sure we're laughing every day and we're having fun, and that we can take a joke. We really just make fun of each other all day, even when I want to be insulted, because it's funny, and we just laugh because we think having fun together, being adventurous, finding fun things to do. Praise God, our kids are gone. I love them, but they are with the grandparents, and we are finding like new, fun, adventurous, places to eat. Faith, excelling in that always as ministers. Finances, we picked up an accountant who will help us with our finances. We've had several meetings with her because we want to build a life, not just for us, but for our children. It's so easy to live in the here and now, but what about the future? So we are always trying to make sure, and really what it does is you put all of those things together, even the fitness component. Listen, I am not a size 2, okay? And I'm okay with that.
I get to check out what the Morenos are doing from a fitness standpoint on my watch.
But I think we have to learn how to love the bodies that we're in and constantly take care of our health. So you know what? I'm not running 50,000 miles, but I take a 2-mile walk every day because it's heart healthy. It's all about, really, I believe effective living is all about living a life that is whole, that's holistic, so that you can wake up and just feel joy and to be happy. I love how you said, man, you guys have like this glow. I love that it's an authentic glow. We go through pain, we go through our share of tears, but in this household, there is joy, there's fun, there is laughter. So that's what I believe about that.
That's what I'm talking about. Guys, we're celebrating 2 years of existence as Effective Living Life Management Agency. I invited my friend Esther Moreno to join us this morning. We came out with the greatest shirt on the planet that represents our message. It says, watch this, I'm creating a life I don't need to take a vacation from. Woohoo! Yep, you heard me correctly. Now, here's the deal. You can get your shirt at our website. Oh, the water bottle and the wristband comes with it, Esther. I'm telling you, there are people who will realize, listen, for a long time, me from back in the children's ministry day, I was always a branding guy. I believe in making sure that my message solidifies itself.
We have so many Ricardo Miller branding paraphernalia. It's like pouring out of the drawers. I know you know that funny video because me and my husband are stupid. So we like to make fun videos about all of the Ricardo Miller paraphernalia that we have around the house. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was so funny because I was gonna go. I need some workout clothes. I've been very big on working out or going on these walks. I'm like, man, I need some workout clothes, and I'm like, I have 4,000 Ricardo Miller t-shirts. Okay, I could cut those arms off of those bad boys and go out.
Perfect. Now you listen, you and Guy both have been joining me in the Bahamas for our Mission Bahamas trip. It's fast approaching, and there are a lot of people who the countries of the world are starting to open back up, and travel is becoming somewhat level of a normal again. And so October 6th through the 10th, we have our Mission Bahamas trip. I'm so glad you guys are joining us, but tell our viewing audience, effective living is not only trying to figure out how to get more for you, but also how to serve humanity. And so every year we go back to the Bahamas, we serve kids and families and churches and schools. What was your view of that during your visits, during the trips that you've made?
Oh my goodness. It was such an incredible, fulfilling, relaxing experience. I mean, come on, you are in the Bahamas, but just the opportunities to serve. I have to tell you, one of my favorite parts was, we went into the schools and we got to speak to the children. I feel like children from the Bahamas are so much more well-behaved than children in the United States. I don't know, maybe that's me. But I remember going in and just having the opportunity to minister and to love on these kids. It was so incredible. It was so amazing. In light of the hurricane and everything that was going on, we had went the next year. I mean, the island had been hit with devastation, and you could feel just this spirit of really, people are trying to get it back together. They are trying to rise from the ashes, and being able to be a part of that and take what we have, the abundance of what we have, and to give that was just so amazing. And come on, the trip is fun. Like it is not, the serving part is so fulfilling, but it is fun. It is relaxing. It is beach. It is sand. I mean, just, I can't describe it. But I have to tell you, too, another amazing part is the community that is built from being in the Bahamas. You will not go to the Bahamas and be like, oh, that was such a great trip. You are going to leave with friends. You are going to leave with this core group of people that will have your back, who you can depend on, who you will end up traveling 10 hours to visit and go skating with. Like, this is what will happen if you join this community. So absolutely amazing. I can't wait. We're going back, so we can't wait.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure if you're interested in having the ultimate missions trip, join us in the Bahamas. Contact our office, go to my website, or email us directly, info@ricardomiller.com, and learn more about it. But here's the deal. There's a new platform, a service called the Online Training Authority. Go there. If you're a speaker, a trainer, a coach, listen, guys, this is where you want to make sure people can come and get your contact. In other words, you don't even need your own website. The Online Training Authority is a place where people come and get trainers, they get speakers, they get coaches. But here's the deal. You can now also go there and set up your platform services. So now when people come to the Online Training Authority, they say, okay, I can get my speakers and my trainers and my coach there. Make sure you join the platform. I'm on there. So I'm pushing people. If you want to book Ricardo Miller, go to the Online Training Authority and get the information. Now, here's the deal. This is where trainers, coaches, and teachers of teachers gather. And so if you're one of those people and you want to be on this platform, birds of a feather flock together. What you want to do is make sure, contact the Online Training Authority and say, hey, I'm interested in this platform. You're a teacher and you're looking for a speaker to come in and speak to your class. go to the Online Training Authority, a great, great platform that's providing an exceptional service. Esther, before we go.
You didn't say the glue thing. I thought you were going to say it. Just stick your hand and glue something sticks to you.
Come on now. It's a signature one. Okay. Now, what Esther's talking about is, because I'm a strong believer.
Where was it?
It's impossible to put your hands in a bucket of glue without some of that glue sticking to you. Okay?
I love it.
Yes, get affiliated with the Online Training Authority, a platform of excellence, a platform that will surround you with other like-minded, progressive people. I promise you, you won't regret being a part of a community like the Online Training Authority. A good friend of mine started that business services, and I said, I want in on it. But not only do I want in on it, I'm going to make sure the world knows about it. And so if you're looking for a speaker, that's the place to go. If you're a speaker and want a community where you can push and establish yourself, go there, the Online Training Authority. Now, Esther, before we finish our talk, you joined us earlier this year for one of our events. We had an event. This time we're calling it Fun Day in the Park. And you came when we had a 5K in the park. Tell us the importance of gatherings like that and how it really does take your life to a whole nother level after a busy work day or a busy work week.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's all about accountability. We need each other in order to keep pushing and moving further. And Guy and I live in Alabama, so we got in the car, all of us, the whole four of us. We took the kids and we got in the car and we drove 10 hours and 30 minutes to be a part of this event. And when we got back in the car, we're like, totally worth it. We had a blast. It was so much fun. But you need people. You need good people in order to sustain what you're doing. If you think that you're on the island all by yourself and you don't need anybody and you can do everything by yourself, you are going to lose in life. So one of my favorite things just about the run was just being together, with people, with like-minded individuals. The focus on that day, of course, is fitness. So we're focused on fitness, but just the joy, just the laughter, just knowing that you're not alone, just knowing that there are other women out there who are not size 2, who look like you, who are out there taking care of their health, beautiful, different shapes and sizes, all coming together with one goal was just absolutely incredible.
Well, listen, we're doing it again, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're in the Dallas area, plan to now join us this Saturday. Go to our website, ricardomiller.com. It's a free registration. We just want to know who's coming so we can plan properly. We're excited about this weekend. It's our in-person event that we're celebrating 2 years of existence. And somebody said, just 2 years, why are you celebrating? I believe it's important that you celebrate every day. This is about you. I'm not gonna wait for 5 years to celebrate when I made 2 years. Some people didn't make 2 years. Some people didn't make 1 year. I made 2 years. Come on now. Come on. Somebody gave up a year and 15 months. Okay, I'm going all the way. Okay, and so you got to get to the point where you start to realize, every day you celebrate what God's done for you. Esther, words of wisdom for those who are watching when it comes to just deciding to being unstoppable, putting in the work, deciding not to settle, but going after your dreams, because it's possible. You don't have to live a life of regret. You can live a life that is so intentionally built that you're starting to see your dreams come alive. And now you're being transformed by the decisions you're making on a daily basis. So challenge our viewing audience in closing. Being unstoppable in Christ requires us to forward, remind our viewing audience what they got to do.
Absolutely. I think we have to remember that we have an enemy and, that we're fighting, but that the battle is won. But that doesn't mean that he ain't gonna be barking at us, So just to expect that and not to allow the obstacles of life to pull you down. You have to choose to develop a healthy perspective. I mean, as we go into the Word of God, those who won, Those who won the battle, it wasn't life was perfect, but they choose to have a healthy perspective. They chose to believe God even when it was hard. They chose not to have a woe is me pity party over everything that didn't go right, and they chose to have that healthy perspective. So just to be intentional and know that joy is a choice. You living that dream is a choice. You writing out that vision and making it plain and doing the necessary steps, whether it means getting a coach. All of that is about being intentional and just being healthy. Also, we've just come out of a crazy season of COVID-19. We are still, I'm like having a panic moment because they're always talking about a new variant. I'm like, okay, let me make sure the house is prepared for me to live in again, just in case. But whatever the trial is that you may be going through in whatever area, fun, fitness, faith, family, all of those, finances, all of those, whatever your trial is, God is giving you that unique trial to grow you. Take don't miss your moment. Don't miss those growth moments because you're so focused on the negative. Be conscious of your source. What are you plugged in? Are you plugged into the news? Are you plugged into CNN, Fox News, whatever it is? Or are you plugged into God? Because it's through the Holy Spirit that we're going to receive what he wants to do, that we're going to receive the proper instruction on the next moves that we're to take for our story. God has created a dynamic story in each and every one of us. One of my greatest fears, Ricardo, is getting to heaven and him say, man, dang, Esther, I had so much for you.
Yeah.
But you missed it because you wasted your time worrying about this. You were so insecure about this. You were busy trying to be this person instead of the person that I created you to be. You were too scared to talk about this because you were trying to be too safe. Don't play it safe. And the last thing I will say, get a coach. I'm telling you, don't be crazy. Don't just get anybody. You need strong mentors who are around you, who are giving you wisdom, who are telling you take that post down, who are not going to tell you just what you want, but they're really going to help you to live that life that you don't feel like you need to take a vacation from. You need good people. Good people will change your life. Good people will make you excel over people who think they are the baddest chick. Let me tell you, when you get the right people around you, it is transformational. I cannot say that enough. I have people who call me all the time. Esther, how you doing this? What are you doing? How you doing this? I have smart people around me who help me to do it and to get it done, who help me to, you struggle. We're talking about writing things down. You struggle, write down your goals. Hey, get a coach, okay? Ask them to help you to get those goals and to have something to move toward. So important.
That's what I'm talking about. Remember, guys, it's impossible to put your hands in a bucket of glue without some of that glue. Get a coach, get a mentor, allow someone to help you on your journey to living life effectively. Esther, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Make it a great day. Everyone, listen, guys, if you have not already gotten your Effective Living t-shirt, go to the website and order your shirt today. Get your book. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, join us for the event on Saturday. Once again, thank you, Esther Moreno.
Awesome. See you guys later.
God bless.